Hey guys, it's Nick the Booksmith. Welcome back to my channel, and this will be part 3 on our DIY Making Your Own Journal series. And so we're going to make a mess, and that's always fun. This is a piece of parchment that I've been using for several other things, so we're going to use this guy. Alright, so we have our 3 covers. Not really sure what I'm going to do with this one yet, but I do have plans for these. So for this guy, which is our cardstock cover that is approximately 5 3/4. It's actually a little shorter than that. It ended up being more like 5 5/8 by, by 4 1/4 is actually what it ended up being because I trimmed it down. So just an FYI, that's what it ended up being, is 5 5/8 by 4 1/4 with an inch spine. Okay, so sorry. So what I did was I took a piece of the paper and I slid it inside, and I thought, hey, that's too wide, or you know, it depends on how wide you want your papers to stick out on the end. Yeah, so that's what I did. So you can adapt it to that. So what I did was I made some images to be able to print out and put on these. So here are the images that I printed out. This is like the cover of a 1987 McGuffey's, and that's what kind of why I cut down the cover too, because then it fit right just like that. And then here is the back one, the back one, and it'll go on the back side like that. So what I want to do though is I want to chomp the corners, just because I like the way that looks sometimes. So I'm going to do that. Just like that. And I'm also, let's see here, I'm going to chompy these guys. Again, not even necessary. This isn't even something you have to do at all. I just, every once in a while, this one is going to have square corners, and I thought, oh, well, maybe this one needs more rounded corners. Okay. So, what I think I'm going to do is take my ink that kills everybody, because the the Velcro, I have like industrial Velcro on this thing. I keep changing the pad and it like eats through it. Maybe I pressed too hard. Absolutely, totally a possibility on that one. So I'm just going to barely go around the edges just to kind of ink them up a little bit. Again, you do not have to do this. This is up to your own aesthetic. You know, maybe you don't like vintage grunginess. I can respect that. I don't understand it, but I can respect it. No, I don't mind, guys. I don't mind if you don't like vintage grungy. Not everybody does. I just like the way, if I'm going to use a vintage image, I like the way it looks with a little bit of grunge added to the outside. You can also decide to do that on the inside as well. Again, you do not have to. Okay, so here is this, and this needs a little bit of grunge itself. Okay, so that is properly dirty. So what I am going to do is just kind of line that up. And I'm going to glue this puppet on, and I'm just going to use the Fabrifix again to do that. But you can use whatever glue floats your boater. And I'm just going to kind of center that on the up and down. And press that down. Do a little bit of a brayer there. And then this little dude. And it has an image in the middle that has, you know, definitely a north and a south here. So have to make sure I don't put this on upside down. Okay. And kind of line that up, kind of equal with this guy. Just be wary, the brayer can kind of shift your images sometimes, so you might have to kind of reposition them a little bit while the glue's still damp. All right, so now you have choices. You can put a piece of paper down the spine if you want. You can line it with like here's a little piece of fabric. So you could like do a little piece of fabric down the middle if you wanted to. You could glue that on there, and then you'd have a little bit of a fabric spine. This one's not quite wide enough, but you know what I mean. Well, I mean, it could be wide enough. It covers the spine, but it would be cool if you'd lined it up with the edges of this, where the image shows where this cloth spine was on that book. So you could totally do that, and then you'd have a little bit of a cloth. That'd be really cute, right? What do you guys think? What you think, man? Here is, oh wait, here's a smaller piece. How about this piece? Is this good? Let's see what we got here. Let's measure. And that is approximately 1 3/4 inches. So, scoot everything over. Let me take this guy, and I'm going to even up an edge here. Somebody said in the comments, I don't think I've responded to it yet, that you do better if you're standing up. Well, I am standing up. I am standing. I'm just a peanut. So not a whole lot of weight behind the cutter, because I'm a peanut. Okay, so here is, I'm gonna line that on there, and I said 1 3/4, right? So there's 1, and there we go. Looks relatively correct. There we are. So here's a piece of fabric that could be glued right here onto the book, and then that way you could have a little bit of fabric. Wouldn't that be sweet? So we might do that. So you can make the choice to go ahead and put that on now, and then you sew through it and you'll see your stitches. Or we can put the pages in first, and then you glue this to the edge, and it kind of hides your stitches. Let's do that. That sounds like fun. That sounds like fun. Let's do that. I'm going to keep this piece handy for that. Okay, so the cover of this one is done. Cute, makes it look like a little McGuffey's primer. So the other thing that I did, I went to olddesignshop.com, and that is Julie. Hi, Julie. And what I have done is this. She's got some free images. Well, she's got a lot of stuff there. Julie's got a lot of stuff there. So I printed off some report cards, and these are going to be the inside pockets. Does that sound cool? Does that sound like a plan, Stan? Where did I put my... Here it is. So I am going to punch a corner so that it matches right there. And then we can glue this dude on. And then this one gets put right there. And you can decide to ink the edges of these or not, which never a bad idea to ink the edges. Never a bad idea. I cannot think of a reason why it would be a bad idea, but I'm sure they're out there. But it kind of just helps everything kind of blend together and have the same tonal values, and so that's why I like to do it. So it kind of makes it meld in, like it doesn't look like new against old kind of a thing. So let's grab our glue, and I just printed these out onto 60-pound Hammermill presentation paper. And when I choose my printer settings, which I usually print through Photoshop, so sometimes the settings are a little differently if you print through a program than if you just open an image and let your OS print it, which would be Mac, you know, whatever Mac version it is right now, or Windows 10 or Windows 8. They will, you'll have a different window. But if you're going to print through Photoshop, and if you have the options, I always choose inkjet paper for that. And then there's a little, for the Brother printers, there is an option to print using True Life color, and I don't know, it just ends up a little bit better. I don't know, maybe it's because it's more true to life. What do you think? So there are our little front and back pockets for our journal. Might as well go ahead and put those in. Maybe a little easier to pop those in before the pages are there, right? So here is this guy, and it is ready to have pages sewn in, so we can put this one aside for now. And let's grab this dude. And I wasn't really sure what to do, but I had some paper left over from another project, and it's like the width was like perfect. It's long, so I have to trim it, but the width was perfect. And isn't this beautiful? So this is a William Morris design, and you can use so William Morris was basically a wallpaper designer is what he was known for. And let's see, 7 1/4. So I need to trim this down. So hold your horses. Okay, so there is the front trimmed down. All right, and we can put this on the cover. I only have one of these at the moment, so I'm not going to worry about the back cover, I don't think. I think I'm just going to do the front cover for now. It doesn't matter if you do the front and the back, or just the front, or you don't have to do anything. It absolutely does not need anything on the cover. You can leave it just navy blue and it's beautiful, but that's not my that's not what I do. I always have to mess with stuff. You guys know that. I rarely leave well enough alone. It's one of my weaknesses. All right. So, I can't get it off of there. So, wait a minute. There is an up and a down, so I had to make sure I had it the right north and south there. So let me kind of just center that and press that down. And how pretty is that? Now hold this and just kind of, just cause I finally got one, you know, after, 3 years of making books, I broke down and bought a $9 brayer, right? It's like, who needs one of those? Well, I needed one of those. So how pretty is that? Sorry, how pretty is that, right? That'd be a pretty front to this. And then in a little bit, we will decide if we want like a book plate or something. We'll do that at the end though. Got some glue on it. I will scrape that off. Okay, so we've got this cover done, mostly, and this cover has been also addressed. Oh, what time? I only got 2 minutes before my thing shuts off. I'm still deciding on this. You don't even have to cover them at all. You can leave them as is, which I might do with this one. I don't know, it's the Dinky Dink, so I will think about it. So our next video will be collecting our papers and measuring our papers. Now we know what this one is, but this is going to be an odd size because it's a ready-made book. So we will discuss the size for this guy, okay? And so I will see you very soon in the next video, and we will talk about the pages. Okay, guys, thank you for joining me for part 3, and I'll see you real soon in part 4. Bye, guys.